we'll talk about that last because it's definitely my favorite gun. We've got the Glock 47, the Glock 17, Glock 19, Springfield Armory Echelon, nice gun, the HSSFs19, Berettas APXs. Hi, my name is Ben. I'm the Director and Chief Instructor over N.W.T.G.R, North Wales Tactical Gun Range, and UKTTG. And we're just going to be talking about the types of pistols and rifles that you can expect to use while you're visiting us on one of our courses, and try and answer some of the questions that you've got. So we're going to talk about pistols first. So we've got a selection of 9mm pistols that we can have. We've got 45 ACP as well. We've even got some bigger calibers as well on certain special requests. But let's just talk about some of the most popular ones that you can expect to use from our basic course point of view. So we'll start off with our most common pistol. This is the HSSF19. It's a 4.5-inch barrel. It fires a 9mm round, and it's a really good starter pistol for our students, mainly because of the amount of safety sort of features that this thing has compared to one of the other pistols, like one of the Glocks. What I think is good about the HSSF is that it's a really forgiving pistol. Whether you're brand new into shooting or you're experienced, this thing runs like clockwork all day long. They're relatively cheap for what they are. They're not expensive, and we've got, I think, 15, 20 of these pistols available. And we tend to use them for our newer students more than anyone else. Mainly because to fire this pistol, you have to have a lot of things correct, mainly grip, because it has got your traditional safety that's on the trigger, okay? But it's also got this backstrap safety here, which is really good because it encourages students to actually hold the pistol correctly and able to rack the slide and even pull the trigger. So if I'm not pressing this lever in on the back, I can't engage the trigger. It won't work. So you have to have your hand on it correctly in order to pull the trigger on these things. And they're really good. And I've never had a problem with it, which I think is why I've got a good love for it, I suppose. And again, they're not super expensive, so we can be a bit more aggressive with these and not worry too much about it. What's also good about this one is that you won't be able to see it very well, but on the top here, there's a little lever. And when there's a round in the chamber, this little lever actually lifts. It pops up like that when the slide's closed, which is a good indication that if you're stood there with a new student and they're going, "Oh, I don't know if there's one in the chamber or not," there's a visual inspection here that you can clearly see. So that's a really good pistol. We like these very much, and this is what most of our students will use. We also have all the holsters and equipment for it, so we don't need to be buying anything dramatic just to come on one of our courses. We will literally provide everything for you. So there's the HSSF19s, really good pistols. Moving on, we've got the Beretta APX, also a 9mm. Obviously semi-automatic. These, in my opinion, I think, as far as Beretta goes, this feels cheap, but it's definitely not. It's a Beretta at the end of the day, Italian made, and these are good, but not my favorite, in my opinion. This is more for if someone's got really bad grip and they're finding it hard to understand mechanics. This is a really good pistol to use because it's got a more aggressive backstrap. You can get a better hold on it. So and it's got a much narrower pistol grip. So for smaller hands, things like that, this is a really good pistol to use. And yeah, it's a good gun, but not my favorite. So that's the Beretta. You do have the option to purchase your own firearms with us as well. There is a process to it, but you can legally own one of these in our range over here. So this is a Springfield Armory Echelon. And this is one of our members who's also an instructor now. Actually, he's become an instructor of ours. This is his pistol, and he swears by it. And these are really good guns. It's an alternative to one of the Glocks. They're optic ready, so you can take this plate off here, and you can mount your optics on it and things like that. And they're a little bit cheaper than a Glock. Really nice, shoots really well. Like all these pistols, there is no physical safety. They're all safeties are on the triggers, which not the best, but it is what it is, okay? So Springfield Armory, Echelons, really good pistol. I think we've got 4 of these now. This one in particular is our instructor's out. But yeah, that's a cool gun. Going to the Glocks. So we've got 3 different types of Glock that you can use. You've got the traditional 17, you've got the 19, and then we've got the new 47s. And we'll talk about that last because it is definitely my favourite gun. But we'll talk about the 19 first then, I suppose. So Glock 19, 9mm semi-automatic, typical Glock. Has all the characteristics that you would expect, and not my favourite. I don't play along with this very well, mainly because of the size of my hands. Mainly because of the size of my hands, so if I get a grip onto this pistol, I tend to have my little pinky. Yes, the magazine does assist a little bit, but you're either a lover or you're not of these ones. But again, for smaller hands, similar to the Beretta, these get really well, but we don't, again, let all our students issue, we don't issue one of these to our students when they first come, mainly because they're a little bit more hard to deal with than the HS. So these are a little bit bigger, they're a bit heavier, but there's more safety characters on this one than on this. So, yep. And then we've got the Glock 17 Gen 5. So all of them are Gen 5s are Glocks. The Glock 17 is a full-size pistol. It is relatively bigger. Let's just put that there. So the Glock 17 that we have is relatively bigger than the Glock 19. Really good gun. Served me well over my years. It's what I've been using full time for a very long time. And you can't really go wrong with a Glock. I think Glock is one of the pistols that is great out the box. We can just literally, brand new pistols, out the box, straight on the range. You don't need to mess with them, don't need to upgrade them or anything like that. And then they've stopped making the new ones of these. So you can't buy a new Gen 5 Glock anymore. They've actually got rid of the 17s, and then they've now made the Glock 47, which is essentially exactly the same as a 17. It's the same gun. It's just got a few little differences, okay? One of the main differences is the spring, the recoil spring. So the recoil spring is what is inside here, which assists the slide forward. The Glock 17 can only use a 17 spring, whereas the Glock 47 all come optic ready. So this one doesn't have the plate on top. It's cost you extra to do that. These come with it standard. And this one takes the same spring as the 19. So there's a lot of parts that are easily better to interchange as such. So also this is one of ours. It's one of our custom ones that we've put some modifications on. So this one's got some stippling on the side of it. We've got a red dot on this one. So we've got a couple of pistols with red dots. We definitely like our students to understand how to use iron sights first. We don't give you red dots to begin with, but you do get the chance to have a go with it at the end. And if you come with us more often, you can eventually get yourself a red dot. And it's only because I think it's really important to understand how iron sights work. It gives you good marksmanship principles other than red dot, which is just put the dot on the target and pull the trigger. But this is a Trigicon. Not quite sure which Trigicon this one is. It's the RM06, I think that's what it is. It's really good Trigicon. We've also got one with the Holosun as well, but it's a little bit more bulky. We've got the extended iron sights on this one as well. So backup iron sights, which is taller so you can see through it. Obviously the torches that we put on these ones as well, just give it a little bit more weight, and they fit the holsters that we got a little bit better. This is more of a tactical pistol over just a standard usable one. And then we've got the extended mags with the bumpers on the bottom. This pistol will look a little bit bigger than that one, but it's exactly the same gun pretty much. So those are our pistols. We've got the Glock 47. We've got the Glock 17 Gen 5. We've got the Glock 19. We've got the Springfield Armory Echelon. Nice gun. We've got the HSSF19, which are really good guns for beginners. And then we've got the Berettas APXs. We have got a few other pistols available. They're more for fun reasons, not issue reasons. All these pistols here, if you join one of our courses, you can be issued it for the whole 3 days that you're with us. And we'll give you the holsters and the equipment to go with it.